Hey Oars, this is Brady, and today I'm talking to Bri Visalli, a midfielder for the Houston Dash. Welcome, Bri. Glad you could join me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
What did the team learn while they were missing some key players due to international break?
Um, I would say that during that time, I think a lot of players had to learn their new roles. It's very different when you have six of the original starting 11 gone on international duty. So, I mean, obviously, personnel wise, that's a huge shock. And so, people having to step up and I think learning their roles moving forward and how impactful they can be in our results this season, especially with the Olympics, I think. No, Olympics, yes. Olympics coming up. So, yeah.
How great was it for the team to get those major players back in the game versus Kansas City?
Yeah, I think it was nice to have the group back together. I think it wasn't, I don't know, I think it was maybe the Challenge Cup when we had everyone fully back together because Rach went out on loan. So it was a really long time for the most of us actually playing together. And it was really nice, obviously, to have that moment. The preseason was interesting because obviously we had to account for the fact that we were going to be missing them. But yeah, it was awesome. I think hopefully with more games and more time in training, we can get those connections back that we had in the Challenge Cup, and you can see some of those brilliant little connections come out in the upcoming games.
In your career, who has been your toughest opponent and why?
I would say Man City, which is like obviously not to do with the NWSL, but that partially has to do with the technical and tactical understanding that some of the players had that we were playing against. And in addition to that, they're also very athletic. So it was one of those games where you knew you had to fight from the first minute to the last minute. And each player brought something entirely unique to the game. So, yeah, that would be probably one of the most challenging games for me personally.
How exciting is it for the team to not only play the Challenge Cup, but the regular season for the NWSL?
Yeah, I think it's really exciting that we can have a full season. And the fact that we started off our preseason with the Challenge Cup was a great little mini tournament to get us started for the full length season, which will roll through October. And that's been a nice little trial run. Obviously, we wish we were going to probably be advancing, but we know that that's not going to happen given Portland's points in our side of the bracket. But it's a lesson learned. And I think it's always great to have that experience. And those kind of almost like a friendly tournament. Obviously, the Challenge Cup we wanted to win, so I don't want to say it like that actually. But it was good to get, I guess, a pre-run to the actual full length season, which is really exciting.
How can the women's game gain more fans?
I think it's a bit of a catch 22, to be honest. And I think that, in terms of exposure, that would be the biggest key. I think it's really difficult for a lot of people to watch women's games. And that should not be the case because it's very hard to market something that you can have that's very hard to watch as well. So I think that will definitely help with the popularity of the women's game is just having us on TVs very easily, readily available to watch. And it's a bit of a catch 22 because everyone says, we need to earn ourselves, I guess, or whatever. But I think if you give us the exposure, I think fans will eventually fall in love with what we do. So, yeah,
Thanks, Bree, for coming on the show.
of course. Thanks for having me.
Good luck on the rest of your season.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching NWSL Talk.